Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day, and today's video is being another video that I created a really long time ago, and I'm going to keep it going because I feel like we fall out of love with some things, or we still love them but we just don't give them enough like attention as they deserve. Like some people don't give me enough attention. Just kidding. Anyways, today's video is going to be on makeup that I love but never use, and without any further ado, let's jump to the video. Alright guys, as always, all makeup on this channel is cruelty free, and so are all the products I'm mentioning in today's video. Also, I feel like this video is self-explanatory. It's makeup that I do like, but for some reason I just don't reach for it that much. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. We don't need a super long intro. Let's start off with like primer, then we'll go to foundation and stuff. So for primer, I chose the Becca priming filter. What is this one? The First Light priming filter. I like it. It's a really good primer. I used it a ton when I first got it because it's really soothing and nice feeling to the face. But I have so many new primers recently, and this is just not one that has any special benefit to me that like does anything specific for my skin that I feel like I need to use this all the time. I feel like either I'm using like a priming mist because I'm in a rush, I'm using something more hydrating for my skin, or I'm using something like the First Aid Beauty primers, which are like blurring, which I sometimes need, or are good for like reparative reasons for my skin. So this one does nothing for me that I need all the time, so I've just not been reaching for it, even though it is really good. It feels really cooling, it's nice, but like it doesn't do anything for me that I need to use it all the time, so I just don't reach for it. Foundations. I have 3 to put in this video. So the first one I'm going to run through real quickly is the BH Cosmetics BH Naturally Flawless Liquid Foundation. I think I've been keeping this because of the fact that it's really affordable, and if I was doing a really affordable video that'd be good for it, but I feel like it kind of got gross in here. I've had it for a year, and even when I shake it up and stuff, it doesn't really shake. And it's just kind of nasty, so I really should get rid of it. But like, it wasn't a bad foundation, especially for like $8 that I paid for it. The next one is the Tarte Shape Tape Original Foundation. The Shape Tape, not the Face Tape. I love the Face Tape. Face Tape is beautiful. But the original Shape Tape, it was fine. I thought it was like an okay foundation when it first came out. It wasn't like raving impressed. I wasn't like disappointed either. It was okay. This is the matte one anyways. There's also a hydrating one. I don't know, I feel like there's been so many better improvements in foundations since this one came out that I've been reaching for something with a better formula, because this one looks a little bit dry in my lines, but overall like it's okay, so I still have it, but I never reach for it like ever, because I feel like since last year when that came out, formulas for foundations have gotten a lot better. Now another one that I gave a really good review and I thought it was really decent and I do like it, but I never reached for, is the Milk Makeup Blur Foundation. I just feel like after a few hours you can see where it's breaking up on my skin like a normal wear, but I feel like I see a lot of texture on my skin when I wear this foundation, mostly because I have a lot of dry skin. I feel like you see every little bit of texture enhanced with this. It's a really beautiful coverage, it's a really beautiful finish, it wears really well, but I feel like I see a lot of texture, so I never reached for this one. I think I wore it once last week to try and make myself wear it, and I was like, okay, so it's pretty, but it's probably better for someone with more oily skin. It's just really matte, I guess, that's one way to say it. For concealers, I have 2 that I never wear. So this first one is the Jouer concealer, and the reason I don't wear this one as much is, one, it's not as full coverage as the Shape Tape, but like it has really good coverage still. It's the essential concealer or whatever. It just does not mix well with certain setting powders, and I never want to think about, oh, does this work with this setting powder? So I just never use it because it's just iffy. Like some setting powders, it does not want to work with. It is an absolute pain in the butt and it looks horrible. And some it looks absolutely fine. So I never really think about like, ooh, what am I going to mix this with? So I never reach for it. Another one I have not been using is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I bought it because everyone was talking about how good it is, and it's a really good, like, $6 concealer. Like, I've never had such good coverage with $6. But because I'm addicted to the Shape Tape and it blends out easier, I've been using that nonstop still, just as my go-to. But the e.l.f. Camo Concealer is really good, but because I'm addicted to the Shape Tape, I haven't been reaching for this one. Also, this is in the shade Fair Warm. It's really not Fair Warm. It's very strange. Maybe if I had like the correct shade, I'd use it more. But I'm addicted to Shape Tape, so I never reach for this one, even though it has really good coverage for being so affordable. Next up, I have one piece of skincare. There's a lot of skincare that I don't use, to be honest, because, I don't know, I'm a bad person. I like what I like, or I find something new and I'm like obsessed with it. But this one thing that I just kind of like loved for like 2 weeks and then stopped using altogether. This is the Milk Makeup. I think it's the Matcha toner. I don't know. It's the little green stick. I got the mini version just because I wanted to see if I liked it. I think it was like $14 at Sephora. It's really good, but soon after I got this, I got the e.l.f. Active Hydration Stick, which is much bigger, much easier to apply, and I started using that, and now I don't even use the e.l.f. Hydration Stick that much. But for me, I don't think it's specifically worth the price for this anymore. When I first got it, I really enjoyed it, and it is really nice. Like, you'll definitely get the hydration and coolingness to your skin that you're supposed to with this. But I feel like for the price, there's a lot of other similar products that are more worth it, so I never really reached for this. I kind of forget this tiny little thing in my skincare drawer. So I just never use it. I don't know. Also, like, the label from the Sephora sticker left stickiness, and now it's covered in cat hair and sticky goo, so that's another thing I don't like touching it. Let's move on to, like, face stuff, I guess. So, well, I guess it's all been face stuff. The next thing is the NYX Cheek Contour Duo Palette. I've used this a ton, obviously. This isn't Double Date. I used to rave about this, and I still really like it. It's kind of dusty, actually. This is what mine looks like, used and abused. I would use this for my contour shade and then use this to clean up underneath of my cheekbones. It's a really pretty, nice duo. The contour palette itself, like the palette quality, powder quality, whatever, is really good. It's just I found that this shade does not work for me. I realized that this shade is too deep and it's too warm for my skin tone for a contour color. Maybe if I used it as like a really soft bronzer, like barely tapped in here and blended it out over my face, it would be okay. But it's just too warm and too dark for a contour for me, I realized, so I never use it anymore, but I still keep it because the powder in here is really decent, especially for the price. That was really loud. I didn't expect that to be so loud. Next up, we have a highlighter. This is Jeffree Star and Manny Mue's Uranus Skin Frost. I don't use most of my Skin Frost. I mostly just use Ice Cold all the time, if we're being honest, or maybe the Platinum Ice palette once in a while. Mostly I just use Ice Cold, but the reason I'm bringing this one into question today is because it is like one of his best formulas. Ice Cold, and then this one right here, Uranus, I'm not going to say it correctly, don't ask me to, is his best formula. I'm picking this one and saying I don't use it today because it's so much bad attention comes towards it. Like, one, if I wear it in a video and you realize, like, oh my god, what's that highlighter? It's not available anymore, so I can't recommend it to you. Also, if I used it, people would be like, remember when they're still friends? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Don't we all remember when they were friends? And it's just a weird little thing people always love to bring up in the comment section. Just like if I put a Jeffree Star palette next to a Kat Von D palette, people are like, the subtle shade. I'm like, no, they're just really big, bulky palettes. I decided to store them together. It's not any shade. Not me storing palettes in my Alex store has nothing to do with drama. So I never use this just because I just want to, I might wear it if I wasn't filming, but I film a lot, so I just don't use it that much, even though it's really soft and still really pretty. So I should use it more and just say screw it, whatever, but I don't know. I think part of that just draws me away from it. I don't think about it. I'm not like avidly avoiding using it or anything. I'm not like trying not to use it, but I know that that's gonna happen, so I'm just like, just reach for Ice Cold or Pillow Talk again. Next up, we have some eyeshadow palettes. This is what you guys are wondering. This was hard. I didn't want to include like a million of them because there's a lot that I don't use all the time. A lot. But I just chose, I think, 5. I chose 5. So the first one is the Kaleidos Deep Sea Luster palette. I love this palette. The quality is amazing. But honestly, I think it's the lack of cool mattes in here. Like, this palette color scheme is gorgeous. These are the most beautiful, like, shimmery metallic-y shades ever. They're gorgeous, like, little duochromes and stuff. But the lack of mattes in here makes it a little bit more difficult, and I don't really think about it. I usually start off with my eyeshadow with some nice mattes, and then I add whatever shimmer to the lid. It doesn't really matter to me. There's only these couple of mattes up here, so yeah, I don't know. I think that's why I don't reach for it, but it is really pretty. Like, it's gorgeous. The quality is amazing. I love the packaging. I love the color story. It's great. But I need more mattes because then I'll just not remember what I'm reaching in here for. It's like, I'll use this as like a topper palette. So that's one thing. The next palette is the Morphe 15T. I love this palette. I feel like this is one of those palettes that I tried and I was like, holy crap, Morphe's eyeshadow game has stepped it up, even though I still don't buy their giant ones. This is the 15T. It's so cute, right? And I bought it because there was a green in it. Like, this was really calling my name. But I don't know. I feel like nothing inspires me about it. Like, yes, I have tons of other palettes now with greens. When I first got this, I didn't have too many palettes other than like a couple rainbow palettes that had greens in it. But I feel like this just isn't I don't know. I don't use orange eyeshadow. The browns are like okay, but I have a million brown eyeshadows, and I think that's why I don't reach for it. It's just not a unique enough color story. And I feel like a lot of people, when they do videos on declutters and stuff, they usually declutter a lot of Morphe palettes because there's a lot of color stories that are similar. But I don't know. Next up is the ColourPop Disney Princess palette, Disney Designer palette. This is so cute and I love it. That's why I haven't decluttered it. Like, it's really cute and pretty. But mine's messy. I'm so sorry. Let me clean you up a little bit. It's just not inspiring. Like, these mattes are so soft and buttery and beautiful. Like, the formula is really good. But I would mostly use it for, like, the top row and maybe one shimmer. Bottom row, I have no interest in whatsoever. Like, I don't have any use for those colors. I don't really use purple eyeshadow or black. So, I don't know. I feel like I have so many nudes palettes that I reach for all the time for, like, normal looks like today. Like a really neutral look. I have tons of palettes that I reach for all the time with this kind of color story, and I don't reach for this one. I just feel like it gets lost, especially against a bunch of other palettes. It just kind of like a black top palette, so it doesn't really stand out to me, and I think that's part of the reason both of these are in here, because I never really think about them, I guess. The next up is another ColourPop one, and ColourPop, I love you. You're my favorite brand. No shade whatsoever, like, I love you. I love you. But this is the It's My Pleasure palette by ColourPop. I bought this one used off Poshmark because I knew I wasn't going to buy it myself when it first launched because I don't wear purple eyeshadow. And I have yet to use this palette, which is very irresponsible because I shouldn't be buying makeup and not using it. That's why I'm broke all the time. This is the palette. I wanted it because I want all of the little $12 palettes. I want all those little 12 pan palettes from ColourPop. But I don't wear purple eyeshadow. I don't need this whatsoever. There's zero point in me having this collection. Collecting makeup is dumb. Like at one point I tried to collect all of the Anastasia palettes and I realized that's stupid, I'm not going to use them. And then I started collecting these little ColourPop $12 palettes because they're affordable, and like if I was doing a monochrome look or whatever, it'd be cute. I'm just not going to reach for it. I know I'm not going to reach for it, but I have it and it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay with the rest of them, but never use this palette. Have not used it once. Next up is the Naked Heat palette by Urban Decay. This one's on sale right now, and I feel like this was super hyped when it came out, and I really wanted it, and I died for it. But when I eventually got it, which was later than everybody else, I really fell in love. I think it's a beautiful formula. I love Urban Decay's formula. However, I don't wear warm eyeshadow enough anymore. Like, I used to wear it more, like when the Blood Sugar palette came out. I wore a lot of warm eyeshadow, which is around the same time I got this one too. But for me, I don't wear that much orange, honestly. So I never wear it. And if I wanted any of these warm tones, I would reach into another neutral palette that has a couple warm tones similar to it in there already. I know some palettes that I reach for all the time that have similar tones in here. I don't need a million of these tones in one palette, so I never reach for it, but it is a really beautiful formula. And I feel like if I needed a ton of looks with this one color story, at least I have it, you know? Which is super dumb again. Next up is the Liquid Eyeshadow by Wander Beauty. I had brought this in here too to include in here, the Stila Glitter and Glow ones, but I ended up using it on today's look. I used a tiny baby bit in the inner corner and under the lower lash line for a little bit of glitter because I thought I was going out. I'm not still filming a video. But the Wander Beauty Liquid Highlighter, or the Liquid Eyeshadow, it's just okay. I got it in a Try Beauty box, and I really like the color. I think the pink is really cute and pretty, and the formula is nice for these as well. I just feel like these crack a little bit more than the Stila ones, just a little bit. They look a little more dry on the eyelid than the Stila ones do, so I never reach for it, and I always forget in the first place to use liquid eyeshadow. That's why I was going to talk about the Stila ones too. I forget that I have them. I reach into a certain palette, I do my look with the palette, and I move on. Sometimes I just forget all the extra stuff you can do. Very irresponsible of me. I should use it before it goes bad, but that's just how I am. And then lastly, I brought one lipstick in here. There's a ton of lipsticks I don't use. I wear this kind of color constantly, but I decided to go with Bachelorette by Colored Rain because I bought this at full price, $18 at Target one time, and it's a beautiful color. It looked like this. I'm not going to swatch it, but it's a really pretty color. I just never reach for really deep colors, especially if we can go out and eat or something. I know the inner lip is going to need a touch up, so I just never bother. But it's beautiful formula. The only thing with the Colored Rain wand is that it picks up a ton of product. Like, this thing picks up so much product, it's kind of hard to see. There's like a huge layer of product on both sides of this wand, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult to get a precise lip application with it, so that's another thing that stops me from using this one. But on other Color Drain's formula. I feel like the one's a little bit better. This one's just a little bit of an older formula. But anyways, that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know at least 2 products down below that you love but never use. Because these are things that I don't see myself getting rid of for the most part. There's a couple I might get rid of. But like, I like these things. But I don't know, I have other things I reach for more, and I feel like that's really common, especially when you have the amount of makeup that a lot of us do. Like, I'm not just gonna say that I do, because I know a lot of you guys are guilty of this as well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe down below. I'd appreciate it greatly. We can be friends and stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.